Hey gang, welcome back. Another one of Rod's projects. As I promised you before, we're going to be replacing the window regulator in this 350Z. Problem is the regulator motor is weak, so it slows down the count, and every time it slows down the count, the window just wants to come back down. So we're going to replace that item today, and I'm just going to show you quickly how to get in here and get this guy out. So first thing I want to do, show you the tools you need. Some nice plastic panel removers tools. This way you don't mar any of the finishes. They squeak inside the cracks and pop things open real nice. First thing we're going to do is remove this little finisher and set it aside. After that, we're going to get two bolts inside. There's one located in here, one up in the upper handle. We're going to take those guys out to gain access and remove more panels. I do believe it's a 10 millimeter. That's what it feels like. So I'm going to find my 10 millimeter socket. Right here. Yeah, it feels like it. Tight. Use a ratchet to get it open some. There. Loose there. Okay. That should come out. We'll remove the grab handle. We'll just set it aside. Next thing we do is to remove this finisher panel. See what we can do here. Slide it forward just a tad, get the clip out of the way, and we're going to disconnect the switch. See a little tab here? Press that in, and at the same time we need to press up. So just try to see if we can use this guy. Okay, there's your switch assembly, multi-pin connector. We'll set this aside. Alright, there should be a small screw located inside this hole, but there's nothing there at this point, so we're just going to pop the panel off. Just walk your tool down. It appears we got all the clips off. We're going to push up on this, lift her back and away. And as you see, we got some rods attached to the door lock assembly inside here. Got some speaker wires. We're going to disconnect everything one by one, gain access to move this thing. Get this off. Be happy. There's one wire. Get down here, the wire harness there. Set this on its side gently. There's really no reason to have to disconnect this, but we can pop this out. Bring this guy up out of the way. Pop this one out, same thing. And we'll put the panel on the side. Go. Alright, so take the clip off here, snap off this little speaker housing. We'll set this to the side. Disconnect the wiring going to the window regulator. And we're going to remove, it looks like about 10 screws, bolts. So I'll take all those guys out and we'll see what's going on the inside. Okay, so after removing several access panel screws, removing this copper colored or gold colored screw here, along with the three holding the motor, we're able to get this off. We did disconnect the glass. There's 1, 2, 3 bolt holes for the glass to lock it in place. And we're inside the door. Here's our regulator assembly. As you can see, it's a bunch of wires and a motor, and all it does is move back and forth. We're going to inspect to make sure everything looks good inside the tracks here. rotor cable will lubricate that, and we'll replace the motor. Interesting. I'll take a picture inside the door, show what that looks like there. Alright, very cool. Let's set this down. I'm going to put it on a bench and we're going to work at it that way. Make it easier than sitting here. Or, what we need to do is remove the 3 screws. I already broke them loose. Two. Number 3. Okay. So slide the motor out over the side. First thing I want to check is looking at the motor. It's parked in the same position, which it doesn't appear to be. I don't know if that's going to be an issue or not. I don't see any way of adjusting this. Interesting. My concern is the motor going to be in the right position when we put it back in the car? Or perhaps the computer in the car picks it up once we hook the wires up. Put it back into the bracket, reinstalled the regulator channels back to the panel. I'll show you over here. The nice thing is, all the bolts necessary to remove are the gold colored bolts. These 3 are for the actual motor. This one here, this one here, this one here, and this one here hold the regulator channels in, or window channels. I just caution you, do not change the adjustments on these screws. This sets what I would call is the camber adjustment for the window. So make sure you leave those alone. It will unlock and stay there. It takes a lot to turn that. But that's actually changes the glass as it comes up into the window what it does. But remember, the gold ones is what you need to remove in order to get the whole assembly off to be able to invert it and change the motor. And finally, we're just going to reset this grommet inside here, and then we'll go back and reinstall everything. Alright, so after assembly, I'm just lightly lubricating all the cabling and the pulleys just to ensure a nice smoother operation of the unit. The tracks themselves, the guides here, just make sure they're clean. Some clean grease on them before we put it back together. That just make operation a little bit smoother. Okay. Okay, now that we have it all assembled as one unit, we're going to reinstall it in the door. And simply what you're going to do is let the run channels enter the door first. Bring your panel up, position it in place, and that's going to be it. We're going to reattach all the screws. You see there's about 10 of them. We'll come back after I have almost all of them tied up, and then I'll show you how to put the glass back in place. Okay? Okay, now we got the glass back in place and testing the window operation. As you can see, when the door gets closed, the window goes up, which cuts into the weather strip to make a nice tight seal. When you hit the door unlock button, the window drops, which makes it easier to open. It's working properly now. So I know we're on the right track. We'll get it all lined up. We got the 3 bolts here that hold the glass in place, all secured. Additionally, the 10 or 12 bolts out here, 10 of them are all tightened up. We can reinstall the panel, put our new speaker cover up here, and get it back together and be good to go. Alright, so I reinstalled the speaker panel. The door panel snapped back into place. All the clips lined right up. We have the trim panel snapped right back in place and gonna tighten up the pull handle. And that'll be the end of it. But the nice thing is, you can see the window now. When the door shuts, the window locks up in place, which will lock tightly into the gasket and stop our water leaks. So it definitely is a good fix. A few more minutes, we'll put it all together, and I'll show you how it works when the door opens and closes. All right, so now when we close the door, the glass should go up into the run channel as it did. Watch, when we open it up, see it drops? Okay, up it goes. Drops, opens, up it goes. She's working 100%. Job well done. I don't know what my next project what's going to be. I'll get back to you.